Hello traders and welcome back. Today's daily watch list is going to be late in the afternoon because where there was not too many setups going on today. And the first thing I want to do is discuss cryptocurrencies. And the reason I want to discuss cryptocurrencies is because if you remember on Sunday afternoon, I sent you a message on the VIP channel that Ethereum was hitting our buy zone. So let's start with that, right? So this is the daily on Ethereum, and before these pullbacks, well, it hasn't been quite the structured move in Ethereum in the sense that you can see that those highs were just reaping above the bullish structure, but I mean, that's the case sometimes with cryptocurrencies. Now, the zone that I'm interested in is this one right now. All right. So the reason that I'm interested in this zone is because of this. Well, this is the daily chart. Let's move to the 4-hour chart so I can show you what I'm actually looking at. Right. So this is the 4-hour chart. Let me just delete all these drawings. And the actual zone that I'm interested in is this one right here, as I told you, right? Hold on, let me just grab my line and draw the line here. So this is the actual buy zone that I'm interested in. And I'm going to be placing a buy here on the MAM for a long-term trade. Even though I already had a buy on Ethereum, I bought Ethereum here, right, last week. I took profits around these levels from half of my position, and then I got stopped out on these very, very bearish candles, right? So at break even, right, which is completely and absolutely fine, right? So why don't we go ahead and have a look at what's going on here? We're going to talk Fibonacci ratios, we're going to talk extensions, etc. Because what this seems to be is an A, B, C pullback, right? An ABC pullback on the overall bullish structure. Now, how can we know for sure that this is an ABC pullback? Well, we are going to use Fibonacci retracement levels and extensions. The C wave should always be at the 161.8 of the AB wave, and the AB wave must not retrace more than 88.6% of the first wave. So why don't we go ahead and let's have a look at the retracement on this one. And as you can see, it retraced 76.4%. So we are right there at the end of the ABC move, the plausible ABC move, right? And on the short term, what we want to see basically is a break of the structure. Now we already, I mean, this is Ethereum and these are cryptocurrencies, so this is why structure-wise, I mean, structures are always going to be compromised, right? But right now, the area that we want to clear in order to get more longs in play is the 35.85 level. So eventually what we want to see is this: a break and retest of that 3600 level to ultimately run for all-time highs, right? Now on the hourly, the daily range is capped, of course, by this horrible candle. This is an hourly candle, but again, we are retesting that buy zone. We are still in a very much bearish structure, right? On the hourly, immediate bearish structure. In order for longs to be in play, this is again the 3600 level that need to be broken and retested with. I reckon that we're going to get a rally to the pivot, to the weekly pivot, then a pullback, and then we're going to get that that big rally, right? So that's Ethereum. I was looking at Bitcoin too, and actually Bitcoin doesn't look that bad. In fact, Bitcoin looks extremely good because not only it has it's retesting that very big buy zone like this. Yeah, I mean, let's use the thicker lines. so you guys can better see what I'm talking about, right? So this is the buy zone in Bitcoin, right? And you can see that we are having some massive bullish divergence on my oscillator, and we might be in an ABC2. Why don't we have a look at and see where we are placed? Actually, why don't we have a look at first at that pullback on the actually, this is quite not the ABC, because you can see that oh, actually this let's go ahead and let's do it correctly. My bad. Yeah, I mean, we have retraced back around 61.8, between 61.8 and 76.4. Then if we go again and cheat on the on the Fibonacci's, but not using extension bar retracement, which is the same thing. We are quite not yet on the 161.8, and what I don't like about Bitcoin is that even though we are capped by this big level, right? There's no structured lows here to make for a stop loss, right? On the daily at least. Now on the 4-hour chart, again, I don't like the lack of structured lows here, and I also don't like that we penetrated this area of support. Now this could be a fake out, but this price action looks extremely bearish, and I would not be a buyer again until we are above that 5,000 level in Bitcoin. Right, so that's cryptocurrencies for me, guys. Why don't we go ahead and have a look at the US dollar? The US dollar, like I said, today was quite the boring day. We do have that long on the euro US dollar that is making money at the moment. We made money on gold longs at the close, at the open. I'm sorry. On that first rally, that was a good one. And right now, well, on the US dollar, we're expecting more downside. The immediate level to break is the 90.05 level, but we have pulled back and retested to that weekly pivot. Let's have a look and let's see if during the week we can hit those 161.8 targets to the downside at the 89.76 level. Right, that would be the level. If you look at the daily here at the top left of my chart, that would be the level to watch. Right, gold is still rallying, still very much on a bull market. But if we look at the daily here, we are retesting. Let's have a look at the daily. We are retesting that big level that we were talking about, right? Now that big level, the 1864, and we are retesting, or we have pierced through that flag, right? The green flag that we were talking about. So what's going to happen, we don't know. But that's the daily. Now on the thing is that on the 4-hour chart, we kind of already hold on. I mean, first of all, we have hit the 161.8, as you can see at the top of my chart. Those are some very important bullish targets, short term, of course. And we did pull back to this level, but there was not a setup. And I personally didn't buy that pullback. If you look at the hourly, actually, the risk to reward on that trade, I mean, I wouldn't have bought blindly here, but the risk to reward on that trade was not quite convincing me. Bet less than a 1-to-1 on that long, but we still made money on those longs that we held through. And what we are going to do is we're going to wait for a real pullback in gold to get in on a long, to try to swing trade those levels, right? Crude oil, there's nothing at all that interests me in crude oil, euro, US dollar. We're still making money on this euro USD. Let's see if we can finally hit those targets. We might. Let's see if we have hit those targets actually, because I mean we got in on the breakout of these highs. We're still making money on this one, but let's have a look, right? The actual targets to the upside are, if we finally manage to break above that, above those highs, then we are definitely going for those targets, right? At the 123, around the 123 level. Now let's have a look at how our gold, our euro US dollar longs are doing. Market watch, nope, navigator. Let me just change the accounts. Right, so we do have that. There you go. Let's get rid of the grid. And we do have that Euro USD longs going right here. We are, yes, all right. So this is where we are at right now. I had it a little wrong, so it's a good thing that we are looking at this right now. So we are still in that trade, looking for that 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio to TP1, and basically a 1 to 2.5 risk to reward ratio to TP2. This looks extremely good, extremely bullish. Even though we had this this pullback on the hourly, on the 4-hour, you can see this this candle. We are still moving up, right? The GBP USD still moving up above. On the daily, you can see that we are still trading above that point of control. I'm no longer on buys on the GBP USD. I got taken out on a this pullback right here. If not, my trade would have been about a 450 pip winner. The US dollar, Canadian dollar keeps sliding. We haven't had that big pullback that we need in order for us to go long. The Aussie US dollar, I was looking at a possible long here on the Aussie USD, but couldn't find a setup to buy actually. And the actual setup to buy, was really, really late on the day, so I decided against it. We might get that Aussie US dollar for tomorrow though. NZD USD is presenting us with a good buy opportunity. I'm going to be sending that signal to the VIPs only. Actually, I'm going to be sending it right now because we might get that because look at the where we are trading on the daily, just above that point of control, which is absolutely good for long. So I'm not gonna get too much into that because I'm gonna write an article on it. The US dollar Japanese yen, on the other hand, I'm looking for longs on the US dollar Japanese yen, and I'm gonna show you why, right? So this is going to be very cool because the US dollar Japanese yen is actually giving us an opportunity to go long, right? Let's have a look at the daily first. The daily doesn't look like much, right? In fact, the daily looks like a head and shoulder is being played out or is about to play out, right? Even though that that fourth shoulder, if you want it, kind of invalidates the overall thesis, right? But what's important here is the 4-hour and the hourly chart, right? The 4-hour chart, let's just delete all of these drawings and let's start by looking at this, right? The 4-hour chart, just look at these lows. These lows is my key level that has been respected in the past, right? And right now we are pulling back to it. And it confluences with the weekly pivot, which is another justification on a possible long, right? The midterm structure on this market is a bullish structure, so we are going to clone this, and as you can see, we are in a bullish structure right on this market. Even we can put it right here if you want to. All right, so we are in a bullish structure midterm. We have pulled back to a key level, and on the short term, we are trading down. Yes, we are trading down on the short term, but if you look at it, we are trading down in what seems to be a bullish flag, right? So if we clone this, we should get a very nice immediate bearish structure on this market. Now let's use some Fibonacci retracement levels to calculate the pullback to this key level. We are at exactly the 50% pullback. Right here, you can see on black. We are at the 50% pullback right to this level. right? So we have another confluence of levels right here that could be interesting in the long term, in the sense that we could get a nice risk to reward ratio through TP1 by going long above the weekly pivot, etc. We should be getting a very nice risk to reward, 26 pip for 42 pip to TP1. And if in fact this is a bull flag, we should get the calculated targets to land around the 161.8 of this this move that should be around the 110.20. But myself I would be taking profits around the 110.20 or so, 110.10 or 110.15 at these lows. All right, this is the key level that I will be targeting. So we could get another leg up that is similar to the first leg. So we should be getting a possible 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move in this market. As you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move. Right, so that's the GBP US, the US dollar Japanese yen. For me, we are still very much bullish in this market and looking for that breakout to the upside, right? Even though we are very bearish on the US dollar, my focus on this trade would be the Japanese yen. And if we look at Japanese yen futures, right now we are going to do that. 6J. If we look at Japanese yen futures, 56J, Jesus. If we look at Japanese yen futures, you can see that, Japanese yen futures are completely bearish at the moment. We are retesting that previous broken level, the weekly pivot, inside of a bear flag. Everything is pointing out on Japanese yen futures. And this is a Japanese yen driven trade, not a US dollar driven trade. So I would be very careful of not confusing both of them. And if the Japanese yen futures manage to completely reject that weekly pivot and break with this level, everything is going to be on our side for that long on the US dollar Japanese yen, right? So that's the rationale behind that trade. I will be sending you that signal, only for VIPs, of course. And let's finish by looking at the GBP, yen. I know a lot of you like to trade this pair, but there's absolutely no setup to go long still. If you look at the 4-hour chart, we are at the top of this move inside of a very choppy range and have been for a while, since May 10th. So a week worth of choppy range. And if you ask me, this is looking more and more like a reversal pattern in the long term. So I wouldn't be a buyer at these levels at all. I am waiting for a clean break and retest of these highs. This is the level that needs to break and retest, in my opinion, right here, in order for us to consider going long, right? This is very much like gold that was playing this morning, right? Or Sunday afternoon when it broke to the upside. That trapped a lot of sellers. We are going to wait and see what happens. And if the GJ breaks with the weekly pivot, then all bets are off, and we should be going down. Right. So this is today's daily watch list. This is very important for you if you want to learn to trade. If you want to really understand the way that I trade, you should be watching this on a daily basis. I give a lot of information here. It's only for VIPs, and it's only for VIPs. So if you're not on the VIP team, well, I'm sorry. Well, if you're not on the VIP team, you're not going to be watching this. All right, so there you go. See you tomorrow, guys.